गौरणिताय की, श्रीला प्रभुपाद की, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की।
Hare Krishna everyone. How many are coming first time? So for the next 1 hour, we'll have a class on by Mr. Srila Prabhupada. Few words about Ram Tirtha Prabhu. Ram Tirtha Prabhu has been very integral part of our community. He was there before I came to Columbus. So since 2000, early 2000, he has been serving Shri Radha Akbar. Today's wonderful dressing of Shri Radha Akbar was also done by Ram Tirtha Prabhu. And he is involved in many different kinds of services. He is a good cook also with his wife, Sita Sundari. So if you sometimes want to eat some nice, you can visit him. He is very good at hosting devotees, visitors, and he serves them by hosting them. And he is also managing our temple finances. He keeps a record of all the temple finances. And he does a lot of teaching programs at his home, in the temple, and through various conference calls if you want to connect with him. So we are very fortunate that he's going to speak on Srila Prabhupada's key principle.
Srila Prabhupada's key principle for devotees.
Srila Prabhupada's key principle for devotees. So we may think what is that key principle. So we not have to wait too long to find out. So we have to welcome Ram Tirtha Prabhu by shouting Hari Bol 3 times.
Shouting
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Prabhu, don't press it here. Prabhu, you sit, I'll do.
Hare Krishna. So said there are some new people here for the first time.
Guys, that guy.
Oh, he's you are first time. You go to OSC. Okay. All right. So welcome all of you. Thank you all so much for coming to ISKCON Sunday Fish program. We will directly jump into the topic because this is one of the very important topics, not only for devotees, of course. Srila Prabhupada says one of the key principles for devotees, but this particular topic is applicable for all of us in our day-to-day life, not just for devotees, each and every one of us. Probably somebody can ask the kitchen, so much nice there. So what we will do, we will take a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam and then go into the topic. So, in the interest of time, I am not going to sing Jaya Radha Madhava today, but we will directly jump into it. But we will just talk about it. Please repeat after me. Krishnaya Vasudevaya,
Krishnaya Vasudevaya,
Devaki Nandanaya cha,
Devaki Nandanaya cha,
Nanda Gopa Kumaraya,
Nanda Gopa Kumaraya,
Govindaya Namo Namaha,
Namaha
Namah Pankajanabhaya,
Pankajanabhaya,
Namah Pankajamanine,
Namah Pankajamaline,
Namah Pankajanetraya,
Namah Pankajanetraya,
Namaste Pankajangraye,
Namaste Pankajaya,
Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha,
Namsha Kalpatarubhyasya,
Kripa Sindhu सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes with torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble respects and obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. So we will take a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam on this topic. And Mataji, I think you put it up on the screen, right? So that's the verse we are going to recite. It's Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, verse 8. So you are able to see that. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Varam Vrinidvam Bhadram Vo
Varam Vrinidvam Bhadram Vo
Yuyam Me Nipanandana
Yuyam Me Nripanandana
Sauhardena Pratak Dharmas
Swahadena Dharmas
Tustoham Sauhradena Va
Tushtoham Sudena
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Varam Vrinidvam Bhadram Vo
Varam Vrinidvam Bhadram Vo
Yuyam Me Nripanandana
Yuyam Me Nripanandana
Sauhardena Pratak Dharmas
Swahadena Dharmas
Tustoham Sauhradena Va
Tushtoham Sudena
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Varam Vrinidvam Bhadram Vo
Varam Vrinidvam Bhadram Vo
Yuyam Me Nripanandana
Yuyam Me Nripanandana
Sauhardena Pratak Dharmas
Sauhadena Pritak Dharmas
Tustoham Sauhradena Va
Tushtoham Sudena
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear sons of the King, I am very much pleased by the friendly relationships among you. All of you are engaged in one occupation, devotional service. I am so pleased with your mutual friendship that I wish you all good fortune. Now you may ask a benediction of me." Purport, it's a small purport, we will read that as well. Since the son of King Prachina Barishad were all united in Krishna consciousness, the Lord was very pleased with them. Each and every one of the sons of King Prachina Barishad was an individual soul, but they were united in offering transcendental service to the Lord. The unity of the individual souls attempting to satisfy the Supreme Lord or rendering service to the Lord is real unity. In the material world, such unity is not possible. Even though people may officially unite, they all have different interests. In the United Nations, for instance, all the nations have their particular national ambitions, and consequently they cannot be united. Disunity between individual souls is so strong within this material world that even in a society of Krishna consciousness, members sometimes appear disunited due to their having different opinions and leaning toward material things. Actually, in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be two opinions. There is only one goal, to serve Krishna to one's best ability. If there is some disagreement over service, such disagreement is to be taken as spiritual. Those who are actually engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be disunited in any circumstance. This makes the Supreme Personality of Godhead very happy and willing to award all kinds of benediction to his devotees. As indicated in this verse, we can see that the Lord is immediately prepared to award all benedictions to the sons of King Prachina. So by now, most of you would have guessed what is the topic for today. He said Srila Prabhupada's key principle. So by reading this purport and the translation by verse, I'm thinking most of you could guess what the key principle is. So since there are a couple of new people, I would like to say that this is Srila Prabhupada sitting right there. He is the founder of this society, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He is the one who established this. Right? He came to United States in 1965 and established this worldwide organization institution in 1966. So he left this mortal world in 1977, November 1977, he left this world. And Srila Prabhupada, during the time, there were some disagreements between few parties of devotees. Those things were happening at the time. But one thing I wanted to mention is that we all have to remember in ISKCON, as followers of the ISKCON and Krishna consciousness movement, we all have to remember that Srila Prabhupada is our preeminent Siksha Guru for all of us. Anybody coming into ISKCON, our preeminent Siksha Guru is, we may have many Siksha Gurus, but the preeminent Siksha Guru for all of us is Prabhupada, because he's the one who gave us all the teachings. He's the one who translated Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and he gave us the Krishna conscious philosophy and all the teachings. So, no matter what, generations to come after, Srila Prabhupada is going to be our preeminent Siksha Guru, right? And we have to always remember in our heart that without Srila Prabhupada, we wouldn't be sitting in this room. It's not possible to meet so many wonderful souls, so many wonderful persons. It's impossible. At least for myself, I can say I don't think I would have been in Krishna consciousness without Prabhupada coming into my life and especially United States. So we should be very, very grateful at every moment. We should be grateful to Srila Prabhupada. And how do we show our gratitude and our love to somebody in general? How do we show our love to somebody when we want to love somebody or when we want to show our love to somebody? How do we show that?
Service.
Any thoughts?
Service?
How do you show your love to somebody?
Showing kindness and doing service to other members.
Yeah, wonderful, very nice, very well said. So by serving the other person, so by knowing what that other person wants, we want to know, whenever we want to love somebody, we would like to know, what that person wants, what that person likes, what that person does not like. We try to get to know them more and more, right? Then only you can serve them better. Then only you can love them better, or you can show your unconditional love or service to them. Right? So here, we want to show our love to Srila Prabhupada. We want to express our gratitude to Prabhupada. That means we have to follow the instructions of Prabhupada. We have to do what Srila Prabhupada really likes and loves, right? And one of the last instructions of Srila Prabhupada to his disciples is that you can show me your love by how you cooperate with each other. So that is one of the final instructions Prabhupada gave. Because Prabhupada was leaving this mortal world and there are so many disciples, and he wanted to make sure that disciples are cooperating together to move this movement forward, to take this movement forward to generations to come. So that's why he said, you can show me your love by how you cooperate with each other. So when Srila Prabhupada was in his last days, one of his very dear disciples, Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, so many disciples of Prabhupada, they used to send letters to Prabhupada. They used to correspond through letters at the time, right? We are talking about 1970s. So, and then Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he is one of the disciples of Prabhupada. He used to read these letters to Prabhupada as they are coming, right? And in response, Prabhupada used to give dictate the responses, and then sometimes he used to make some comments also. Dictate the response and also make some comments. And one devotee had written a very special note to Prabhupada. He said that he wanted to offer his longevity. He wanted to offer, the disciple wanted to offer his life to Srila Prabhupada so that Srila Prabhupada can stay much longer on this planet, right? And obviously it was a very, very sweet, emotional letter sent by one disciple, right? But then Prabhupada responded in a very unusual way. He said, Prabhupada reacted in an unusual way and commented, our real love for him would be shown by how we cooperate with each other to continue this mission. That's what Prabhupada said. You can show your love not by giving your longevity, but how you can cooperate with other members of the society. That's how you can show your love. And again in 1973, the same point was mentioned that the test of our actual dedication and sincerity to serve the spiritual master will be in this mutual cooperative spirit to push on this movement and not make factions and debate. So again, another instruction very clearly mentioned here, right? So if you go and search for cooperation by Prabhupada on Google. Google Acharya will give maybe like 2-3 dozens of references where Prabhupada, different occasions, different letters he sent to different disciples. He sent so many letters, but out of that I picked like maybe about 4 or 5 small letters. So from Prabhupada's letters I picked them. So maybe one of you can read them so that we can understand the importance of this particular topic for today. So today, yeah, Mataji, please go ahead.
Bombay, 10th November 1975, letter to Kirtananda. Regarding the palace, when will you expect to finish it so I may go there? I'm glad to note that Pittsburgh temple management is going on nicely. This is wanted. We want cooperation. Why there should be non-cooperation between ourselves? That is not good.
Yeah, another one? Somebody else?
Letter to Upendra, Los Angeles, 6th August 1970. Now all my disciples must work combinedly and with cooperation to spread this Sankirtan movement. If you cannot work together, then my work is stopped up. Our society is like one big family, and our relationship should be based on love and trust. We must give up the fighting spirit and use our intelligence to push ahead. You should accept help from your God brothers.
Yeah, so here again, this particular letter is like, if you cannot work together, then my work is stopped up. Our society is like one big family, and our relationship should be based on love and trust. So we must give up the fighting spirit and use our intelligence to push ahead. So very powerful instruction Prabhupada is giving. Next one.
Letter to Yadubara, Los Angeles, 20th June 1972. Today I have received one telephone call from Gri Raja, and he has informed me that there is some disagreement among your leaders there in our Bombay center. This is not at all a pleasant situation for anyone. I am entrusting this huge task to all of you for working together cooperatively for doing something wonderful. I can understand that you are responsible and cool-headed along with the others, so you take the hand in reconciling all differences.
So let's take 2 more letters I have. We'll just read them and then move on to the topic. Navesh, you want to read that?
Yeah, related to Gurudasa, Los Angeles, 22nd April 1973. So, I would like to hear from you how many men are there in Vrindavan and how the project is progressing there. Now you have got good respect there in India. So, you boys manage everything intelligently and responsibly. So, we have all got good intelligence. Now use it to full capacity for Krishna service and cooperate together. That will please me very much.
Yeah, and one last letter that you want to read today. Anyone else would like to? Prabhu, would you like to?
Yeah. This is in a letter from Srila Prabhupada to Madhu Mangala, dated November 18, 1972. We should not criticize each other as Vaishnavas because there is fault in everyone, and we may ourselves be subject to criticism. The best thing is to be above suspicion ourselves. Then, if we see discrepancies and make suggestions, the others will automatically respect and take action to rectify. That is cooperation. And we must exist on such cooperation, otherwise the whole thing is doomed if we simply go on fighting over some small things. So try to organize things and preach together in this spirit, and that will please me very, very much.
Yeah, so I mean, these are, I just picked only like 4 or 5, contents from some letters, 5 letters. But if you go and search, you will see like dozens of letters to different disciples where he is mentioning about cooperation, how one should cooperate with each other. Otherwise, what is going to happen to the society, right? So these things are very, very crucial for all of us to always remember. Right? So it is the everyday morning, we sing Guru Ashtaka prayers. So there is one particular one in that which says that Yasha Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado Yasha Prasada Nagati Kutoki Yayam Suvam Stasya Yasasri Samham Vande Guru Shri
Charanaravindam.
So these words we read every day, we recite this every day. Yeah? Guru Ashtaka, every day morning when we open the temple, first thing we recite is the Guru Ashtaka prayers. That's what we do. And this particular verse, this particular sloka says that by the mercy of spiritual master, one receives the benediction of Krishna. Without the grace of spiritual master, one cannot make any advancement. Therefore, I should always remember and praise the spiritual master. At least 3 times a day, I should offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of spiritual master. So why am I saying this? So only by the mercy of spiritual master, we can advance in spiritual life. Otherwise, it's not possible. And spiritual master, only when we please spiritual master, Krishna is pleased. Krishna is pleased only when we please our spiritual master. So spiritual master gets pleased only when we act in a cooperative mood, without fighting with each other, without having a lot of differences. So when we cooperate with each other in that spirit, if we serve Srila Prabhupada and this mission, then naturally our spiritual masters, our gurus will be happy. And then by that Prabhupada will be happy. By Prabhupada then Krishna will be very happy, right? So what is cooperation? So when I have been mentioning this word cooperation. What exactly cooperation means? So if you go and search for cooperation on Google, the first definition that comes is that the process of working together to the same end. It's not just that I try to cooperate with you, whatever you want I try to do. Whatever I want, you are trying to work with me to finish that. That is not the concept of cooperation. Yes, at one level it appears that I will do whatever the other person wants, or he will do whatever I want. Yes, it appears that it's cooperation, but it could be sense gratification as well. When we are trying to do something for the other person, it could be totally sense gratification. But the point here is that the process of working together to the same end, that means the common goal. Both should have the common goal, and working together to achieve the common goal, that is cooperation. Cooperation is working together to accomplish shared goals. That is cooperation. Right? Willingness to work with others irrespective of differences. Acting on the platform of unity in diversity in service of Guru and Krishna. And when we act in the cooperative spirit, Krishna is pleased. So these are all different definitions of cooperation. It's not just that somebody wants something and I just go and do it, right? So we should have common interest. And what is our common interest in Krishna consciousness? What is our common interest? To please Krishna and to please Srila Prabhupada, to please our spiritual master. That is our common interest. That way you can grow, you can progress in spiritual path and attain perfection only by pleasing the spiritual master. So that is our common goal for all of us. So is it really possible not to have any conflicts? Is it possible?
No.
First of all, can I ask a question that are all conflicts good or bad? Are all conflicts bad?
Depends.
Yeah?
Depends.
Right? So conflicts are, no matter what, conflicts are there. When there is more than one person, that means there is a conflict. There is a possibility of conflict at least. Right? This material world is full of conflicts. Right? Hypocrisy and the quarrel and hypocrisy. That's the nature of this material world that we are living in. So when there is more than one person under one roof, there is a possibility of conflict. That is expected. But not necessarily each conflict is bad. Every conflict is bad. Conflicts are needed. That makes life colorful. If everybody is thinking same, right? We are, each and everyone is an individual. Everyone has individuality. And we should never lose that individuality. But at the same time, we have to respect other person's individuality as well. We have to see the differences, but then cooperate with each other in the mode of service to Srila Prabhupada and Krishna. So this cooperation, is it applicable only to the temple? Only when we come to the temple? No? Anjana is telling us no. So where else it is applicable? Where do we need this cooperation?
The family.
In the family. Right? Don't we need cooperation in the family? The husband and wife need to cooperate in order to progress in bhakti, or in order to even have a nice family life. Both husband and wife have to cooperate. The children have to cooperate with parents. Right? Parents have to cooperate with children. Otherwise, there is going to be a lot of chaos in the family. Right? It will be very, very difficult. Right? So a lot of times we see that many devotees, come in the morning to help in the kitchen. Many Prabhus, they come in the kitchen to help. They do a lot of service. But when they go home, absolutely nothing. As if they don't know anything in the kitchen. But when they come to the temple, they do so many services. Why is it like that? Why can't they cooperate with wife in the house?
That's a good question.
Do the same service. Your quota also will come. right? It's of course it's same thing applicable to women also, right? So because each one has their responsibility in family life. Husband has some responsibility, wife has some responsibility, but of course we are in this world right now. There are some shared responsibilities, right? Both wife and husband both are working, both are working professionals. Life gets busy, life gets challenging. So that is the time both need to cooperate. Maybe wife has to leave early to the work by 7 o'clock or 7:30. Then husband has to take care of duty worship or cooking for the duties. Right? One cannot say that no, I don't want to cook. That's not possible. If both are working, the cooperation is must between husband and wife and the children. So that is at one level. So today we will see 3 levels of cooperation. Okay, from our scriptures. One is at the family level. We will take one pastime where family members cooperated and achieved some perfection. There is another possibility, cooperation between devotees and demons. Cooperation between devotees and demons. Is it possible to do? And when did they do it? Is there any unique pastime? Hari Bol, you should come here and speak. Very nice. So the conflict between demons and devotees. When did this happen? What happened? We'll discuss that. And now the third case we are talking about is the cooperation between devotees. Two devotees. Right? Two devotees parties. Both sides are devotees. Both are having some conflict. Then what happened? How did they get resolved? These are the 3 cases. You understand? One is the case of family, cooperating in the family members. And the second one is cooperation between demons and devotees. And the third one is cooperation between the devotees. Right? Both are devotees, but there are some conflicts happened. Then what happened at the end? So we'll discuss these 3. Right? So before going to these 3 pastimes, I wanted to ask one question to all of you. Right? What is one of the common reasons for conflict? See, when we want to discuss about cooperation, conflict, relationships, they are all together. We cannot really separate them, right? So when we talk about cooperation, conflict has to be discussed. Otherwise, if there is no conflict, then obviously we are cooperating. So we need to understand what is the cause of conflict. Ego. Oh my God, so many hands.
Difference of
Biggest reason is expectations.
Expectations.
All other is a byproduct of that.
Okay, so one reason is because of the expectations of the other person. So that's why conflict happens. Okay, Mataji?
Our need to control.
So need to control.
It can be your family, any relationships, workplace. It's our mind wanting to have them do what we want because we're expecting, like you said, the outcome.
Okay.
And I've been through that, so I'm saying control is what controlling their.
Yeah, basically not listening to other person. So you just want to my way or highway.
Yeah.
Kind of, right? So that's what it is. Okay, what else? There are some other hands. Yes.
Stubbornness that you're right.
Stubbornness that I am right, the other person is wrong. I am always right, no matter what. Prabhu, my intentions are right. They did not understand, but my intentions are right. So is the intention alone is enough when we are doing something? That's the most important factor when we are doing. But is intention alone is enough when we are acting with other people? That's something we have to think about. Okay, bro. Assumptions, yeah. Anything else? Assumptions, very beautiful.
Opinions.
One person
Opinions.
has more ego.
Ego. We are all having false ego. The fundamental reason we are here is because of the false ego. Like that Mataji was saying, I am right, I am always right. You better listen to me. That's the consciousness we have. Right? So we heard ego. The other one is assumptions. Right? The stubbornness. The Prabhu said, expectations. So these are the things. So let's make it interactive. I want you to cooperate with me in this exercise. Cooperate with me. So now let's take a case or some examples from our scriptures. Whether it could be Srimad Bhagavatam or Ramayana or all the scriptures, right? Chaitanya Charitamrita. Let's think about some cases where people made wrong assumptions. In my opinion, assumptions is one of the main reasons for conflicts. I would not say that is the only reason, but that's one of the key reasons why there are a lot of conflicts, because we assume so many things, right? If you want to understand, what is assumption, how do you assume, I'll tell you one simple example. So somebody called a doctor. Let's say that person's name is John, just for the sake, right? So John called a doctor, his family doctor, in the middle of the night. He called a doctor, my wife is having so much pain. She's not able to tolerate this pain, excruciating pain. She's not able to tolerate it. Please, let's do something. Then the doctor says, did you give some pain medication, like a Tylenol or something? Yeah, I did. I already gave, but nothing. That's not helping. So maybe increase the dosage of the pain medication to 500 mg or 1000 mg. That should help. No, doctor, I tried that also. Still, she's going through so much pain. So then the doctor immediately says, I think this is a serious situation. This is not just an ordinary stomachache. So immediately you bring her to the hospital. So they bring her to the hospital, and then after diagnosis, they understand that it is because of the appendicitis. And many of you may know appendicitis is extremely painful. Immediately, surgery had to be done within 24 hours and remove it, right? So the doctor removes the appendicitis from that lady, and then they go back home. So everything is fine. After 1 week, again the same person calls, John. Right? John calls, doctor, my wife is having extreme pain. Then he says that, it must be some normal pain. So use some medication, like Tylenol or something. No, I have tried Tylenol, but it doesn't work. Still, she's having extreme pain. Then he says, no, just try high dosage, that should work. He says, doctor, I tried everything, but still she's having excruciating pain. I believe that it could be because of the appendicitis. Last time you did appendicitis surgery, I think it could be the same reason. Then the doctor gets irritated now. Oh fool, idiot, there is only one appendicitis in a person. One person cannot have two appendicitis. That's what doctor says. Then John says, yes, doctor, I understand that there is only one appendicitis per person, but one person can have two wives. This is my second wife. This is my second wife having this. So here, the doctor is assuming that he has only one wife. Right? A classic case of restrictions here. So like that, depending on the country, depending on the
How many wives he has?
You are in.
A classic case of assumptions. By default, it says no, there is only one wife. But he says, no, I have a second wife. This problem is having. Once one teacher asks one child in the classroom, a small kindergarten baby, he asks, okay, they are having a mathematics class. It's a mathematics class. The teacher asks, okay, again, I will use John for today for some reason. So John, I give you 2 oranges. I'll give you 2 more oranges. I'll give you 2 oranges in your left hand. I'll give you 2 more oranges in your right hand. Totally, how many oranges you will have? Okay. So then John says, without blinking an eye, he says that 5. Then the teacher gets, said, I think John, you are not understanding my question. 2 oranges in your left hand, 2 oranges in your right hand. Totally, how many oranges you have with you? Then John again says 5. Then teacher gets really irritated. I'm trying to understand a simple math. I'm giving you 2 here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Why are you saying 5? Teacher, I have another orange in my bag already. Right? So again, the teacher made an assumption. Even though he gave only 4 oranges, that's right, but the kid already has 6 oranges. So we make so many assumptions, day to day, right? That causes so much confusion in our life. That leads to conflict. Okay. So now I want you to think about some examples from our scriptures where somebody made false assumption or wrong assumption which caused some issues.
Can I say?
Yes, ma'am.
Ram went to Vanvas, and then Bharat was trying to go behind him and try to come back to Ayodhya again, you need to rule, but Ayodhya Vasi thought that, Ram had Bharat has a bad intention, that he wants to kill other people, that, something like, that's what they had, Bharat had that intention. Bharat had a good intention, but Ayodhya Vasi thought that,
Yeah. So when Bharat went to meet Lord Ram, not only Ajavasis, forget about Ajavasis, Lakshman, from distance he saw Bharat coming with the entire army and all the citizens. He thought that Bharat is coming to kill Ram, to take the kingdom away. Right? So was that the valid assumption? No. Okay, what other? So very beautiful. Right.
Durvasa Muni is
Sita made wrong assumption when Ram was, the Maricha, killing the Maricha episode. Sita made a wrong assumption, thinking that Ram is in trouble. So she asked Lakshman to go. Okay?
Gautama and Ahalya.
Gautama and Ahalya.
Yeah.
What was the misunderstanding?
Ahalya, I believe it's like the way I heard it's like Gautam Rishi assumed Ahalya.
She assumed that the person who came is her husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's in a disguise form. Yeah.
Daksha and Shiva.
Daksha and Shiva past time. So Prabhu, can you tell me a little more? What is the assumption there?
So when the ceremony was going on, and when Daksha walked in, everybody stood. But the Shiva was sitting in meditation. He was not aware of this. And then he thought he didn't get up. He assumed that he wanted to discuss with him.
Yeah. So Daksha and Shiva's pastime, and also that's the example because he did not give respect. So then there was some assumption made, and then that caused some troubles there. Karthik Prabhu, you said something. You wanted
Vali and Sugriva.
Vali and Sugriva, very classic example from Ramayana. So what was the assumption there?
Sugriva thought Vali was dead inside the cave. And after Vali coming back, Vali thought Sugriva wants to take the kingdom and close the door.
Yeah, so very, very classic where, there was a war between misunderstandings and war between two brothers, close brothers, right? Sugriva thought Vali is dead in the cave. So he closed the cave forever and then came, right? And then as soon as Vali comes out, as soon as he sees Sugriva on the throne, he makes an assumption, thinking that Sugriva did intentionally to take this kingdom, so he started fighting with him. So very classic assumption. Ashwatthama, what is the assumption?
The elephant, they killed the elephant and he says Ashwatthama died.
Yeah, actually it's not really an assumption there because he says, Yudhishthira Maharaj says that Ashwatthama Atak Kunjara. So he says that. So that's the reason. Then because of that, they think in that sense.
Killing the 5 people, he thought it was Pandavas who killed him.
Pandavas who killed him. Yeah. Any other examples? Yes, Anjana.
Durvasa Muni misunderstood the intentions of Ambarish Maharaj.
Yeah, there was some misunderstanding Ambarish Maharaj. Anything else? Ranchor.
Ashwatthama killing the sons of the Pandavas, assuming Duryodhana would be pleased.
Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah.
The Rupa Goswami's pastime, right? Like there's an old man coming in front of him. He was in a deep meditation. He was seeing Radha Krishna pastimes in his mind, and he was smiling to that. But then the old man got offended that Rupa Goswami was laughing at him.
Yeah.
So not the old man, the person who has limping.
Anything else? Anyone else who did not answer wants to take a chance?
Ramachandra Puri saw ants on the floor and thought that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is eating a lot of sweets.
Yes, very classic.
In Parikshit pastime, there is one Muni that will be actually meditating, but he will put a snake around his neck, right? Samikar.
Yeah. So Parikshit Maharaj assumed that Samikar is not paying attention to him. So that's the reason he garlanded him with a snake. Parikshit is going to ask about Parikshit Maharaj. What is that, Parikshit?
I was going to say Jana Bharat, the king, he assumed that Jana Bharat was just trying to
Jana Bharat, yeah.
doing it on purpose, but he didn't know he was jumping over the ants.
Right. So wonderful. So we within last 5 minutes we got so many examples where assumptions fall because of the false assumptions. There were some troubles or there are some issues because of that. Right, another classic example is Chitraketu Maharaj. Chitraketu Maharaj and Parvati. Parvati assumed that Chitraketu is insulting her husband. So she cursed him to become a demon. Right? Hiranyakashipu assumed, after having all those ghosts, he assumed that he is not going to be killed. But he got killed by Vishnu. Right? There are so many, there are many more from our scriptures where, because of the false assumptions made by people, so there were some troubles and issues like that, conflicts because of that. So now,
assumed as making ass of you and me.
Good one.
So I want to give one example. This Parvati ji, she assumed that Sri Ram is an ordinary person.
Yeah. When Sri Ram was looking for Sita, he was going in the forest, roaming around the forest. Then Parvati thought, so Ram is an ordinary person. Brahma thought Krishna is an ordinary child. Right? So these are all so many examples that we have seen, that we could see from our scriptures where they made false assumptions, and then because of that, so many things happened. So now this is going to be little difficult, or maybe easy. I don't know. In your own individual lives, now we are all able to tell from the scriptures, but in your own lives, tell me a time where you made a false assumption. It should be very easy. I'm sure we all made some false assumptions in our lives. I'll tell you mine. So this one, of course, I did many times, but this one I always remember. It happened daily with my wife. Of course.
Same with my husband also.
Yeah, the classic answer to me here is that my husband controls me. That's an assumption. My husband never listens to me.
And the same husband says wife controls me.
So these are the assumptions. So one assumption that happened in my life, where I misunderstood, I made a false assumption, is that this was back in 2009, 2010. Of course, after that also I made so many assumptions, but this one stands out. I got a call. At the time, I used to be in the temple council. So when people called temple, they used to direct the number to me. They used to call me, contact so-and-so number. So I got a call. And one gentleman was asking straight away, Prabhu, what time you guys serve lunch prasadam in the temple? What is the darshan time? No. What is the lunch time? What is the evening time? When do we serve lunch and when do we serve prasadam? Those are the questions that person asked. I was thinking in my mind, who is this? He's not thinking about Niti Darshan, he's not thinking about anything else. He wants to know only about prasadam. Right? So then I gave that information and I hung up. And the person is none other than Prem Singh Prabhu. He was not in Columbus at that time. They were just about to move to Columbus. Then at that time I thought, this guy is somebody, he was just after food. Right? Then after coming here, then after Prem Singh Prabhu moved here, then we all know what is Prem Singh Prabhu, what is his food and everything. Then I could understand that yes, obviously he is a devotee, he does not want to eat outside, he wants to eat only prasadam. That was the reason he's asking specific details.
So Prabhu, any other thing that he assumed? What is the reason behind that, Prabhu?
Right, so in our temple, I'm sure all of us, at some point, we made some assumptions. Maybe somebody is looking at me like this. The person may not be looking at you at all. Why did you look at me like this? Why did you behave like this? Absolutely, you don't even have a clue what the other person is talking about. But there were so many assumptions that are made. Like that day, that I came to the temple, that Mataji did not even look at me. That's okay, but then what you do, you go to another devotee and tell her that, did that Mataji look at you today? Yeah, she looked at me. See, that means she likes you, but she does not like me. See, the third assumption made, and these two discuss about the third person there. When you go to the actual person, then you ask, Mataji, you did not even see me. They say, oh, sorry Prabhu, I was thinking about something I did not even realize. It's a simple matter, but we make a big assumption, and then we go on and on thinking about it, and our misunderstandings will go deeper. Right? It is said that for the effective communication, there are three numbers: 7, 38, 55. 7, 38, 55. 7% the other person gets only what you say, only 7%. And 38% how you say. One is what you say, 38% how you say it, and 55% is the body language. Okay, to get the proper communication, to get the proper message to the other person, only 7% of the message is, the people get when they hear it. And how you say it, remaining 38%. But 55% is based on the body language, how you say it. How you say it and how you show your body language. So that is very, very important. Right? So now we'll take a pastime because in the interest of time, and obviously this is a seminar itself. We can speak this for like maybe one full day. We can sit and talk about cooperation, conflicts and things like that. In the interest of time, I will take today one pastime. Of course, I mentioned 3 pastimes I thought we would discuss. But if Prem Singh Prabhu and Temple Council allows me, I can speak for another 15-20 minutes, but we'll see how it goes. Right? So there is one classic, very, very classic pastime that I wanted to discuss today. It is very relevant to the devotees. because we are all practicing devotees. That's the reason I thought we will discuss that pastime instead of discussing the demons and devotees pastime. We are all dealing with devotees in our community, right? We are not demoniac people. We are all lovers of Krishna. We want to love Krishna. We want to progress in Krishna consciousness. Right? We are all practicing devotees. So we will take an example where both are devotees, but there was an issue. Right? So there was a great king, very, very great, powerful king called Prithu Maharaj. Most of you have heard Prithu Maharaj. So Prithu Maharaj was an empowered incarnation of the Lord. It is also called Shaktavesha avatar. So Krishna has unlimited energies, right? Krishna has unlimited energies, and he has so many incarnations, unlimited incarnations, right? So Leela Avatara, Manvantara Avatara, Guna Avatara, right? There are so many avatars like that. And another aspect is Shaktavesha avatar. What that means is one of the Shaktis, one of the energies of the Lord is given to this particular individual. So Vyasadeva is literary incarnation, right? So like that, Prithu Maharaja is given the administrative capabilities of king. So he was a very, very powerful king, extremely devoted and very pious, very powerful. You can imagine he is the Amsha of the Lord himself, right? So he is very, very powerful king. And everything was going well under his kingdom. Things are going fine, right? All these things are happening well. And then for the welfare of the, I'm not really going through each and every details of the pastime. It's a very beautiful pastime. It is in the 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. You should read. But I will just highlights of this pastime. Okay. So Prithu Maharaj wanted to do Ashwamedha Yajna. Okay. Ashwamedha Yajna is basically the horse sacrifice. And there is one person who did 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. Who is that? Indra. So Indra is known as Shatakratu. That's why Indra is known as Shatakratu. The one person who did 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas is Indra. And imagine, doing Ashwamedha Yajna is not an easy task. First of all, it is not even recommended, it is not possible to do Ashwamedha Yajna in this Kali. So that is ruled out. One should not do Ashwamedha Yajna, it cannot be possible. So one has to be, one has to be very pious, one has to be very devoted. Even the mantras that they chant during the Ashwamedha Yajna, one should chant them very properly. So that was, and now it's not possible in Kali Yuga. People are not able to follow all those rules and regulations nicely and recite the mantras properly. So in Kali Yuga it is not possible. So Indra was the only person who did 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. Okay, just keep that aside. So now Prithu Maharaj, being a very pious king, for the welfare of the citizens, all the citizens, everybody was very happy, but still he wanted to do Ashwamedha Yajnas for the benefit of welfare of the society, for the earth. So he started doing the Ashwamedha Yajnas. He did one successfully, nice, right? So second one, third one, fourth one. So he went on, and finally he did 99 Ashwamedha Yajnas. So now he was about to do the last one, the 100th one. So when he was about to do the 100th Ashwamedha Yajna, now imagine what happens. Who is one person who is restless? Who is not happy about this? That is Indra. So Indra was totally unhappy. Everybody is very happy with this, because as Prithu Maharaj was doing the Ashwamedha Yajnas, the earth was giving abundant grains, all the supplies to cows. Cows were giving milk profusely, it felt like oceans of milk. So cows were very happy, citizens were very happy, everything was very happy. So he wanted to do the 100th sacrifice. That's when Indra feels unhappy. Plus job security. He is worried that if somebody does 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas, they are qualified, they are eligible to become Indra, next Indra. So now Indra is worried about that. But if you think about it, Indra is not an ordinary personality. Indra is also, how can somebody have this position? Indra is the king of all the demigods. Indra is the king of all the demigods on the heavenly planets, right? So such exalted position, such an important responsibility, administrative responsibility is given to a person. Why would somebody give that? Why would Krishna give that responsibility to some ordinary person? Can you imagine? So Indra is not an ordinary person. We cannot take him cheaply, right? So Indra is also a devotee. Indra is also very powerful. So that's why that position was given to him. Now Indra is unhappy, and when Prithu Maharaj was about to do the 100th sacrifice. When he was doing it, Indra comes in the form of a disguised form of a Brahmana or a sadhu. He wears saffron dress, he comes and he steals. He comes in an invisible form actually. He comes in an invisible form and he steals the horse. So, but Atri Muni, he could see that that was Indra who was stealing the horse. Immediately, Atri Muni informs Prithu Maharaj, your horse is being stolen by none other than Indra. And Indra came in a saffron dress, thinking, cheating people that he is a sadhu. Right? So then Prithu Maharaj's son, immediately he takes his bow and he starts chasing Indra. But since Indra was wearing a saffron dress, the Prithu Maharaj's son, he did not want to punish him, thinking that he's a sadhu. And he leaves him and then comes back. So again, the second attempt for the 100th sacrifice, Prithu Maharaj wanted to do the second, again he tries to do that. This time Indra tries to do, he comes in a different form, again another sadhu form, and again he steals the horse. So this goes on, again Prithu Maharaj's son, he goes and tries to attack Indra, but then he does not really kill him and comes back again. Right? So like that it goes on for a few times. Then finally, Prithu Maharaj gets extremely angry. And immediately this time Prithu Maharaj says that I am not going to spare Indra, I am going to kill Indra right now. So then Prithu Maharaj gets up and takes his bow to shoot Indra, to kill Indra. Then immediately, Brahma appears and Brahma says that you cannot kill Indra. Indra is not an ordinary personality. What would people think? Generations will think. Indra is the king of heaven. He has a lot of responsibilities. So you cannot do that. Actually, even before Brahma comes and all the brahmanas, those who are doing the sacrifices, they tell Prithu Maharaj, you don't have to go and shoot an arrow to Indra. We will, with our mantras, we will invoke him, we will bring him, and with our power, he will be entered into the fire and he will be killed. We can do that. Then when they were about to do that, when they were about to recite these mantras to bring Indra, that's when Brahma appears and says that we cannot do this. Right? So now when Indra is doing this, what would you expect? What kind of response would you expect from Brahma as a third-party mediator? When a mediator comes, if you are a mediator, Hare Krishna Prabhu, what would you do? Now Indra, Prithu Maharaj is doing a very pious activity, being a nice king, very wonderful person, he is doing these sacrifices for the welfare of the praja. Now Indra, on the other side, he is stealing the horses and he is causing all the disturbance to the society. Now, as a mediator, what would you do? Who do you go and tell to stop nonsense?
Tell Indra to stop this nonsense and make them, you continue this and
right?
don't kill him. So
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
How many people agree with Hare Krishna Prabhu's judgment? Right? So at least many people believe that one should go and tell stop. They should tell Indra to stop this nonsense.
My suggestion is go to Vishnu because Indra would not listen to Maharaj. And Indra, we know that Indra didn't listen to Ambarish. He did something. He sent Durvasa. Vishnu and being king of heaven, his power hunger he has. I don't know what kind of king.
So
And he said that he's a not ordinary person. So Vishnu will decide what to do with Indra.
Okay. So Roma Mataji will go to Vishnu. If he is a mediator, he will go to Vishnu. Yeah. Good. That's good. Yes, Prabhu.
So the mediator's job is not to side on somebody and give a solution to the problem.
Well said.
The mediator's job is to ask questions on both the sides so that both the sides come to a conclusion by themselves. And move on.
He should be the
When the
mediator.
So
he wants the problem, he is becoming part of the problem.
So Krishna Swaranam Prabhu, be careful what you are saying. You don't know where you will end up now.
But here Indra has a lot of ego, right?
So basically, yes, in general, the thought process is that because we know that Indra is causing some disturbance and Prithu Maharaj is a very pious king, he is doing the right thing. So our tendency is to go and tell Indra. But Brahma goes and tells Prithu Maharaj to stop it. Prithu Maharaj stop it. And Brahma tells the reason. O King Prithu, you have already done 99 sacrifices. You really don't have to do 100 sacrifices. Your goal is to take care of the praja. Your goal is to protect the praja. And the praja is already happy. They are happy with you. So you have already done 99 sacrifices. This 100th sacrifice is not going to bring anything new from the perspective. Right? So, but whereas Indra will continue, if you try to continue your yajna, your Ashwamedha yajna, Indra will keep coming in different disguised forms and he will keep cheating the people. He will set wrong precedents for the generations to come. So in order to stop Indra, you stop it so that Indra will not do this nonsense. He will not cause further damage to the society. So Brahma tells this to Prithvi.
Actually, Indra, he made a wrong assumption that
of
Prithu
course.
Maharaj is doing 100 Ashwamedha yagnas to get position of Indra, but he was not doing for that reason.
Exactly.
But Indra thought like that.
Yeah, that's the reason I picked up this pastime also. Now Indra made a huge assumption there. Because we were talking about the assumptions, Indra made a huge assumption that Prithu Maharaj is doing all these sacrifices to get the power or position of Indra. But that's not true. Right? So he made a huge assumption and then he caused all this trouble. But what did Prithu Maharaj do? He did not retaliate when Brahma comes and says that he did not argue that I did not do anything wrong absolutely. I am absolutely right. Why should I stop my yajna? He did not do that. He took a humble position and he said that yes, I will stop. Because of Prithu Maharaj's act, Vishnu gets extremely pleased. Vishnu comes with Indra. He brings Indra to Prithu Maharaj. And Indra was completely, shameful and he was just holding his hand in front of them and he was feeling so sad that what he did, right? And then finally, this was very nice. So this is excellent. I really love this pastime. Let's go to the last slide, Mataji. So, but of course, there are so many details I did not go through because because in the interest of time. So King Indra was very ashamed of all these things and he fell down before 428. Somebody can read the verse and translate.
Me? Okay. Sprishantam padayo premana viditam swena karmana shat kratum prishvajaya vidvesham vishvasarjaha. Translation. As King Indra was standing by, he became ashamed of his own activities and fell down before King Prithu to touch his lotus feet. But Prithu Maharaj immediately embraced him in great ecstasy and gave up all envy against him for his having stolen the horse meant for the sacrifice. Oh, purport? No, purport. There are many cases in which a person becomes an offender to the lotus feet of a Vaishnava and later becomes repentant. Here also we find that although the king of heaven, Indra, was so powerful that he accompanied Lord Vishnu, he felt himself a great offender for stealing Prithu Maharaj's horse that was meant for sacrifice. An offender at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava is never excused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many instances illustrating this fact. Ambarish Maharaj was offended by Durvasa Muni, a great sage and mystic yogi, and Durvasa also had to fall down at the lotus feet of Ambarish Maharaj. Indra decided to fall down at the lotus feet of King Prithu, but the king was so magnanimous as Vaishnava that he did not want Maharaj Indra to fall down at his feet. Instead, King Prithu immediately picked him up and embraced him, and both of them forgot all the past incidents. Both King Indra and Maharaj Prithu were envious and angry with each other, but since both of them were Vaishnavas or servants of the Lord Vishnu, it was their duty to adjust the cause of their envy. This is also a first-class example of cooperative behavior among Vaishnavas. In the present days, however, because people are not Vaishnavas, they fight perpetually among one another and are vanquished without finishing the mission of human life. There is a great need to propagate the Krishna consciousness movement in the world so that even though people sometimes become angry and malicious toward one another because of their being Krishna conscious, such rivalry, competition and envy can be adjusted without difficulty.
So, if you look at the last paragraph especially, it's very, very powerful what Prabhupada was mentioning there. And also, Vishnu extremely got pleased. Vishnu was extremely pleased with Prithu Maharaj. So now who got the generations for generations, who is getting the glory? Prithu Maharaj or Indra? Prithu Maharaj got the glory. So he took a humble position and he accepted whatever Lord Brahma or Vishnu was telling him. So Vishnu got extremely pleased. So if we are in the cooperative spirit, so then our spiritual master gets pleased, thus Krishna gets pleased. So difference of opinions is very normal in the material world, especially whenever there is more than one person. So there is always differences of opinion, there is always some conflict, but we have to learn how to take a humble position and cooperate with each other. So so I mentioned that, yes, Prabhu?
One point I want to say there.
Yeah.
And both of them forgot all the past incidents. I think that's the key word there.
Yes. So both of them forgot. So that's what. So there is so much depth in that particular, the last paragraph. But of course, we are all conditioned. We are all struggling in our sadhanas and Krishna conscious, our practices. Forgiving, yeah, of course, that's a goal. One should have. It may not be possible right away, but at least one should come to the stage that we apologize to each other, and then move on with the service. Continue to serve together. So one should not have the rivalry in the community. Yeah? Right? So the first lesson, at least from this pastime, is that Indra assumed, he made a wrong assumption, thinking that Prithu Maharaj is doing this for heavenly planet. It's not true. So we have to test assumptions. Do not assume things. He did, she did, what did, so that this. No. If there is some misunderstanding, or if something doesn't seem to be right, go and talk to that person directly. Find out why that person is behaving so and so way. There may be 100% perfect reason why that person is behaving in that way, right? So we have to find out, at least that will eliminate 50% of the problem is solved right there. It could be something very simple. When you go and talk to the person, that could be very simple. But it is not easy, right? It's not easy because of our false ego. So that's the reason one must practice humility and humbleness. One has to take the humble position. Right? It's always said that there is always, sometimes we think that we are 100% right, we are always right to the other person. No, there may be at least 10%, even if you are 10% wrong, even if you are 10% wrong, even if you are 1% wrong, you take the first step and go and apologize to the other person. Then see the magic what happens. Even if you are 1%, there is always 1% possibilities there that you are also wrong when there is a conflict. It's not the 100% other person's fault. It's definitely there is 1%, some person fault is there. Even if you are 1% fault, go and say sorry, apologize. Sorry for troubling you, sorry for causing you the pain. Then that will completely, see how the situation goes on, right? So, and of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself said, we are not Brahmanas, we are not Vaishyas, we are not Shudras, we are not Shudras. Who are we? Dasa Dasam Das. Gopi Kamalayva, Dasa Dasam Das. We are servant of servant. We hear this so many times. And we say Prabhu, we say Mataji. Right? Prabhu means you are my master. Prabhu, you are useless. Prabhu, your nonsense, don't do that. Is that Prabhu? Is it really Prabhu? Is that person really Prabhu for you? So we, on a day-to-day basis, we say so many things like this. Prabhu, you are this, but we don't even understand what is Prabhu. Here, Prabhu, bring my shoes. So I'll take another 5 minutes and we can wrap it up. One thing is test assumptions. Do not assume anything in a community of devotees. So try to find out what happens. So after all, we are dealing with devotees. Just we have to remember that. We are not in a corporate world, we are not outside, we are dealing with some people, random people. We are in a society of devotees. Everybody is trying to practice. Everybody has conditionings. We have to understand that everybody has conditionings. So they are struggling with their own baggage. Like I am struggling with my baggage, they are also struggling with their baggage. So if we understand that, at least try to understand that, then at least the chance of conflicts will be much lower, right? So that's one thing. The first thing, do not assume, test your assumptions. The second thing is take humble position. No matter what, there is nothing wrong in taking humble position. I take humble position and apologize. In spite of that, if the other person is still angry or upset, that's okay. At least you did your part. You can be peaceful in your heart that Krishna, I did my part. I went and apologized. Now you do what. At least that step we have to take. And the third one, to avoid all the conflicts and conflicts in the society, have loving relationships. How do we have loving relationships? See, even at our work, even professionally, when we want to make friendship, what do? Sometimes people make friendship with their boss, with their colleagues. What do? They call and say, let's go for lunch. Let's go for dinner. Let's hang out for some time. Right? But how many times we do as devotees? We are so busy with our services. We are so busy with our task. For me, the task is important than the people. Because we are completely task oriented. We are completely, yes, service is important. But when you have loving relationships, task will happen nicely. Right? So having loving relationships, we have to cultivate loving relationships with each other. And we don't have to reinvent anything, how to have loving relationships. We don't have to reinvent how to do that. We don't have to do that. Our, Acharyas, Rupa Goswami gave a nice formula. Very nice formula he gave. Very simple to follow, very easy formula to follow to develop loving exchanges. So what is that formula? Dadati patigrihunati guhyamakhyati prasyati bhumte bhojayate chaiva shedvida priti lakshana. So these are the 6 loving exchanges one should try to cultivate in community. So what is that? Share your mind in confidence. Share your mind in confidence and receive or accept things in confidence. So when somebody is telling you something in confidence, it is confidential. That means it is confidential. If it goes to the third person, that's it. No, there's no more confidentiality. So confidentiality means confidential. You have to keep it confidential. So you have to reveal your mind to somebody in confidence and do the same thing for others. Be that person for other person, so that they can express their pain, their pleasure. You can help them. You can be a friend for them. Right? So that is 2 principles: accept and that, and then accept gifts and give gifts. So exchange, gift exchanges. There are so many occasions. There are birthdays, kids' birthdays, or parents' birthdays, or friends' birthdays, or anniversaries are there. It's an opportunity for us to go meet them, just offer some gift. It's not about the monetary value, but it shows your love. That yes, I want to have your friendship. I want to love you. Let's do this. So accepting gift and giving gift. And what is the third one? That is, everybody loves that. Prasadam. Accepting prasadam and honoring prasadam from others and inviting them to prasadam. So that's how you can develop loving exchanges. Ultimately, love is the only thing that conquers the other person's heart. Right? Love is the only thing. We may have so much philosophy, we may say so much philosophy, we may read so many things, but what ultimately conquers somebody is only the loving attitude, only the love. I will end this one pastime that happened because we are talking about Srila Prabhupada's disappearance. The last instruction of Prabhupada is to cooperate with each other. You can show me your love by how you cooperate with each other. So during the last days of Prabhupada, are you all with me so far, okay? Yeah. So last pastime we will end with this. Mataji, so Prabhupada in his last days, he was completely emaciated. Just only the skin covering is there, only the bones, just the skin, and totally very, very weak. He was in Vrindavan at that time. He had a desire to go on Parikrama, Govardhan Parikrama. And this part was elaborated by our dear His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj very nicely. So I wanted to repeat what he said. So Prabhupada wanted to go on a Parikrama, Govardhan Parikrama. He was very, very weak and emaciated. And there is one group of disciples headed by Loknath Maharaj and few other Maharajas. Because the instruction is coming from who? The spiritual master. So what are we told? Spiritual master gives us instruction, we have to follow. So there is this group of disciples, they wanted to take Prabhupada on the Parikrama. And we are talking about 50 years ago, right? In 1977 we are talking about. At that time, the roads and everything, you can imagine how the situation would have been in Govardhan, around Govardhan. It was bumpy, it was not, the road was not flat. And there is another group of devotees, disciples of Prabhupada. They said, no, we cannot take Prabhupada. Even though Prabhupada expressed his desire, but if you take him around the parikrama, we may not even see him again. He may leave the planet. So it's very risky, it's not good, he's weak, so let's not take Prabhupada to parikrama. So then these both parties had so much argument and conflict there. So one group of disciples say that they want to take, another group of disciples say no, Prabhupada should not go. And then finally the day came where the disciples who wanted to take Prabhupada for the parikrama, the bullock cart was there outside, completely decorated nicely, everything is ready. They wanted to take Prabhupada for the thing. So now on the other side, other disciples were extremely in pain. They were not at all happy. Because they know that they are thinking that what is going to happen if Prabhupada goes for parikrama. So they were very, very unhappy. At that time, Akinchan Krishna Goswami Maharaj was there. He came to Babaji came to see Prabhupada. So at that time, the disciples headed by Tamal Krishna Goswami, and they said that Prabhupada, we love you so much. You are making us crazy, right? Yeah. So we are. Like you are making us crazy that you wanted to go for this parikrama. So then by hearing those words from Tamal Krishna Goswami and other disciples of Prabhupada looked at Akinchan Krishna Babaji and said that, see how my disciples love me, how much they love me so much. So if it is really causing trouble for you, if it is causing pain for you, because you love me so much, I will not go. Prabhupada decided not to go for the parikrama. So then after that, and obviously other party got a little disappointed because they are not following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada on one side. And this happened, and Prabhupada left the body. After that also, this controversy continued for some time, because both parties were still arguing that we are right, you are right, that argument. Then one day, Giriraj Maharaj, His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj went to Prabhupada's Samadhi. And upstairs there was a room. So he was chanting in the morning, and he picked up a book. His eyes came onto a book, Krishna book. Then when he opened that book, it was Damodar Leela. And especially the particular section where it talked about Mother Yashoda was bound. Krishna was bound by Mother Yashoda. How she was bound? Because of the love of Mother Yashoda. Krishna finally surrendered to Mother Yashoda's love, and he decided to surrender to Mother Yashoda because of the love. So when Giriraj Maharaj read that, then that kicked him. Even though the one party is following the instructions of Srila Prabhupada, they are also doing out of love, obviously, right? But they wanted to follow the instruction of Prabhupada. But on this side, even though apparently, externally it appears that they are not following the instruction of Prabhupada, but because of their extreme love for Prabhupada surrendered to them and said, okay. So the point is that ultimately it is love and trust among the members of the society that will help us flourish Krishna consciousness and take this movement forward. So we have to spend some time. We have to give some time. We have to invest. It's an investment. We cannot say that relationships will automatically grow. No, it will not grow just like that. We have to invest some time. We have to invest our energy to build our relationships in the society. That way, whatever we want to do, that can be accomplished. Yeah? So, the take-home points I mentioned were three things. Do not assume anything, and then take a humble position, and of course, try to develop loving relationships with one another. So these are the three things for community building or cooperation, so that things can be smooth. So there is one last slide which I am not going to read, but Mataji can bring the last slide. These are very, very extremely powerful and beautiful. These are the very powerful statements that were given by His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. So if we really follow this, if we really take this to our heart, then we can do miracles in the society, in our community. Each one is a gem. We do that.
Treat everyone you encounter as if the success or failure of your spiritual life depends on the quality of your interactions with them. Think of the person you love the most and aspire to treat everyone with the same quality of love. View all conflicts as your own wants first. Realize that people in your present environment might be very well the people with whom you will live out your life and who are likely to be with you at the time.
Yeah. So aren't they powerful? If you think about each statement, I mean, it's not easy. I agree, but we have to at least aspire. We have to try to do that. As aspiring devotees, disciples, we have to at least try to remember this and follow this. That way, we can do miracles, and we can please Srila Prabhupada by how we cooperate with each other. We can show our love to Prabhupada by how we cooperate with each other. So with this, I will end this. Thank you all so much for your patience. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Let's all stand up for Kirtan. I'm sure there are a lot of questions, but we can discuss one